Many people think that the biggest investment we do in our life is probably a house or a car or maybe one of those big shares that you may have bought. But the biggest investment is. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel. In this video, I'm going to give you 6 factors that can have a huge impact on your journey to financial independence as well as building wealth. This is based on our own personal experiences, both the failures as well as successes. So hopefully by the end of the video, you'll have lots of tips on how to avoid certain pitfalls and also to accelerate your journey. But before I do that, a sincere request. Please do subscribe to this channel as well as share the videos with your family and friends. This gives us a lot of encouragement and also inspires us to continue making these videos while we are traveling around the world and enjoying our early retired life. Talking about travel, right now I'm standing at Princeton University here in the US, one of those Ivy League universities. And interestingly, I'm going to deal with these universities as one of the factors in the video. Also, please do comment on the videos. Interestingly, this video is also inspired by one of the comments that I got on one of the earlier videos. So thanks, Kingshuk, for giving that comment. All right, back to the topic. So these 6 factors are, 3 of them are financial and 3 of them are non-financial. Even those non-financial factors, though, have a huge financial impact. So let's first deal with these non-financial factors because I think they have a bigger impact than the financial factors. So the first non-financial factor is who you choose as a life partner. Many people think that the biggest investment we do in our life is probably a house or a car or maybe one of those big shares that you may have bought. But the biggest investment is the choice that we make in our life towards who we're going to spend our rest of our life with, our life partner. So that's the biggest investment and the biggest decision of our lives. And that decision can have a big impact on your journey to financial independence, both on the positive side as well as on the negative side. On the positive side, it can help you accelerate the journey if you've been very understanding with each other, know each other's goals, habits, especially the financial habits. It can have a big positive impact. So for example, in Seema and my case, it's easier for us now to enjoy our early retirement life because we had a lot of communication about our spending habits, our hobbies, passions. And during our careers, we are also very flexible with each other when it came to making sure that we are helping the other person catapult their own careers. So it has a lot of positive impact, as you can see. Generally, that communication also helps that you enjoy your retirement life a lot more because then you are much more aligned. I have, for example, a lot of people in my network who are more than financially independent at the moment. However, I see them resisting from taking that big step of early retirement or even now at the age of almost retirement to get into the retirement because their fear is that they will end up spending so much time with their partner and they are not really, they don't maybe not acknowledge that, but they're not really aligned with each other's hobbies, passions, etc. So that's on the general side. But then coming to the extreme or the negative side is if unfortunately you end up deciding at a later stage that you're not meant to be for each other and you end up having a separation or a divorce, as you can imagine, this will double the time that will take towards your journey to financial independence. It can add years to that and not just an emotional toll, but also the financial toll you can imagine. So when it comes to a life partner, if you've not chosen one, make sure that you are doing your proper due diligence with each other on your alignment, especially on your financial habits, career, profession, etc. And if you already have a life partner, then make sure that you're communicating and you're discussing not just the social part, but also discussing transparently all your financial aspects, including the habits when it comes to that. Linked to this point is also the second point, that is children. Now, this is once you've decided a life partner, this is the next decision that you end up making if and when you have children. Again, to make that decision, you should make sure that you understand and check your financial stability and how financially secure you are, not just emotionally, not just professionally, to have children as well as, for their growth. And the other interesting thing that I've seen, especially visiting these Ivy League colleges or universities, they are super expensive. The fees for an Ivy League college like this, are, I think in different parts of the world, can go as much as $500,000 for education. So imagine the burden that you have to prepare and plan for that. So planning is important. But at the same time, though I'm standing in an Ivy League university, my request or suggestion would be that don't just chase for your children an Ivy League education just because probably you were not able to do that or you got it. Seema and I both, again, we come from not just humble backgrounds, but we've just had our education average schools and average universities. But I think I would say that we've been fairly successful or moderately successful. So it's not just that the education of the Ivy League will be the only holy grail that you should push for. The same goes for private education during schooling years. So make sure that you're doing a fair balance when it comes to the spending towards education and how much can you afford. We also have people within our friends and family circle who are unfortunately raising that expectation with their children that doesn't matter where they want to study, they will fund it, but we know that it's very difficult for them to do so. So set that expectation right. So in summary, for children, one is make sure that the if and when that decision for children, you do it based on a financial security stability. For their education, make sure that there is a fair balance between their aspirations and your aspirations, as well as, again, how much you should financially compromise or even, go overboard for that education. So that is the second point. The third is health. Now, it's said health is wealth, and that is correct because health has a big impact on wealth. But health is not just maintaining health, but also about health care. That how do you make sure that you, your family, your parents are well insured? Now, one of the mistakes that Siva and I did during our corporate career was that we did not at early stage take out our own private insurance in parallel to the corporate insurance. Now, what it does is that by not doing so, we were not able to build our medical history with an insurer. On hindsight, had we done that, it would have been much easier for us to get a lot more insurance and a better insurance during these early retirement days, because now we do not have corporate insurance. And when we go for private insurance, anything that we have as a medical ailment before we went to these insurers is now treated as precondition, no matter how small or big it is. So when it comes to health, it's not just about maintaining health, but it is also about planning for much more in the future. So my personal suggestion on that one would be that make sure that do your parallel health insurance along with your corporate insurance. Do not just rely on corporate insurance. That will make a big impact in future, or at least dampen any impact that can happen in future. And that holds true not just for you, but also your immediate family, parents, because that all probably maybe right now covered as corporate insurance. And hopefully with the private insurance, their medical history can also be carried over. So these were the 3 points which are, I would say, non-financial, but they have a financial impact. Now coming to the financial factors. The first one is income. This is very simple, that the more income you have, the more you'll be able to save, the more you'll be able to invest, and quicker you'll be able to get financial independence. So growing that income is an art as well as, it needs a lot of planning. For example, if you do not have a proper ambition planning towards your income, you may have your income just steadily increasing, probably just about or above inflation. Ideally, as someone told me many, many years back, income or growth in salary should be something like currency notes. So anywhere in the world, currency notes are not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you have a 1, then you have a 5, then you have a 10, then you have a 20, then you have a 50. So similarly, you should have the same aspiration that how do you grow your income similar to currencies? And how do you practically do that? Is have a goal that every 5 years you will double your income. And start planning towards that goal. If it means that you have to change professions, you have to get reskilling, you have to change jobs, you have to change countries, that has a big impact. Again, in Seema and my case, this 5-year plan of doubling income has been instrumental for us to be able to take that big step of retiring early. Linked to the income is the second financial factor, that is expense management. Again, it's very simple. The less you increase your expenses, the more you'll be able to save and more you'll be able to invest. However, this has two big factors, and that both of them I've been touching them on in different videos of mine. One is lifestyle inflation. That how much should you be increasing your lifestyle as your income grows? If your income is doubling every 5 years, you should also be, increasing your lifestyle for that matter, because you want to maintain, as someone who watches our videos also introduced me to this term called lifestyle equity. You should maintain equitable balance between, a social balance so that you're increasing your lifestyle accordingly. But managing that lifestyle is an art and a very important part of life. And again, it links to that point about choosing the right partner, because aligning the spending habits can again have a big impact on how much you're saving. Because keep in mind, salary is for vanity. It's the expenses or savings that are for sanity. So no matter, you could have $1 million salary, but if you have $1 million expenses, then your savings is zero. And you can have a much lower salary, but if you have a much lower expenses, then you could still achieve financial independence faster. The third financial factor is debt. So the debt that you have can pull you down. Unfortunately, in the US, where I am right now, and universities like these, it's sad to say that many people are burdened by the student loan that they are here. And they will probably spend many, many years of their professional life paying off those student loans. And again, there is nothing wrong with that. But again, that's a decision that you will have to balance when I was mentioning about children, that what is the trade-off or fair balance between doing that student debt as well as studying in these expensive colleges or universities. So student loan is one of them that adds a lot to debt. And then there is the house loan. I've spoken about this in many other videos that, house is not part of the journey to financial independence. It is for your own consumption and a personal use asset. So the more expensive house that you have, the more debt you carry, the more burden you will have over there. So that's the second thing to manage. But the third thing, those are what I would say the bigger silent things that add up and we are not realizing right now, or we don't realize that much, is those interest-free loans that companies give us to persuade us to buy their products on equal monthly installments. And these EMIs add up. And now I see a lot of companies are also linking that your daily or your regular shopping of even buying sneakers or shirts, etc., that you can pay it in 3 months on interest-free. Now, what it does is that one, it adds, it's good that you can buy things that you don't need to pay off then and there, but it creates that habit of debt without realizing. And again, being in the US right now, I realize that how much debt a regular American family carries, and they end up working till their late years just because they are on this hamster wheel. So make sure that you are managing your debt. The best case scenario would be, and the best would be, that you have zero debt except maybe your home mortgage, and that too, your home not being 30%, more than 30% of your total assets. Any other debt, pay it off and don't let it happen and come to your portfolio. So overall, I think for all these 6 points, if you are very careful and you use some of the tips that I mentioned in this video, it will help you get off from those pitfalls and hopefully help you with your journey to financial independence. So I hope you found this video useful, and I know that these are points which we know on a daily basis, but it's worth reminding, if you had these points already in your mind, to make sure that you are considering them and you're putting them and tracking them well. So please do comment if you have any thoughts. Would love to get into a dialogue and also hear from you on your own experiences. Till the next location, till the next topic, and till the next university maybe. Goodbye from me. Bye-bye.